Imagine this. You've just gotten a raise. After months of hard work, your boss finally says those magic words, you're getting a salary increase. You feel incredible. Finally, you can breathe. You start imagining all the things this extra money will solve. Upgrading your phone, moving to a nicer apartment, maybe grabbing those sneakers you've had in your cart for weeks. Fast forward 3 months. You open your bank app, and your balance hasn't really changed. Somehow, even though you're earning more, you're still living paycheck to paycheck. How is that possible? That's the strange paradox of money. The more we earn, the more we tend to spend. It's called lifestyle inflation. And if you don't understand it, your income will keep rising, but your wealth never will. Let's talk about why that happens and how raises can actually make you poorer. Here's something weird about life. When we imagine getting rich, we almost always picture spending more money. We think wealth looks like luxury, nicer homes, designer clothes, a shiny car, because that's what we see rich people doing. But in reality, that mindset traps ordinary people. Most of us live in what I call the raise, spend, repeat loop. Here's how it works. You get a raise, you feel more confident financially, you upgrade something in your lifestyle, your apartment, your car, your habits. That upgrade becomes your new normal, and soon you're back to feeling broke, just at a higher level. It's like running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. You're moving faster, but you're not actually going anywhere financially. Let's break this down with a simple story. Meet Daniel. He's 28, works a full-time job, and earns $50,000 a year. After taxes and expenses, he manages to save around $200 a month. A year later, Daniel gets a raise to $60,000. That's a solid 20% bump. Great news, right? But then, something subtle starts happening. Daniel tells himself, I've earned this. I can finally live a little. So he moves into a nicer apartment, a $300 increase in rent. Then he upgrades his car, another $250 in monthly payments. He eats out a bit more, subscribes to a few new streaming services, takes a vacation, and guess what? His expenses have grown by about $1,000 a month. Daniel's extra income didn't make him wealthier, it just made his lifestyle fancier. That's lifestyle inflation, when your spending rises at the same pace as your income. And this is incredibly common. Studies show that most people's expenses rise almost exactly in proportion to their income. That's why so many high-income earners still live paycheck to paycheck. Doctors, lawyers, tech workers, people making 6 figures often still feel broke, not because they don't earn enough, but because every time more money comes in, their brain finds new ways to spend it. Here's the psychological side of this. Humans adapt fast. It's called the hedonic treadmill, a fancy term for how our happiness quickly adjusts to new circumstances. Think about when you bought your first nice phone. For a few weeks, it felt amazing. You took extra care of it, showed it off, felt a little special. But after a month or two, it just became your phone. Now it's normal. You barely notice it unless it breaks. That's how lifestyle changes work too. Each time you upgrade your life, your brain feels a short burst of pleasure, then it resets to its baseline. So when your income rises, your mind doesn't say, great, now I can build wealth. It says, finally, I can afford what I deserve. You chase that next upgrade, thinking it'll make you happier, but it never really does. You're just running faster on the treadmill, earning more to buy more things that quickly lose their thrill. And it's not entirely your fault. The world rewards visible wealth. Social media shows us people our age buying homes, traveling, wearing luxury brands. Our brains interpret that as the norm. So even if you're doing okay, you start feeling behind. Psychologists call this social comparison. We judge our success not by what we have, but how we think we're doing compared to others. So that raise you got, it doesn't feel like extra money to invest. It feels like a ticket to finally catch up. That's why so many people end up upgrading their lifestyle, not to feel rich, just to stop feeling poor.
But wealth isn't about how much you spend, it's about how much you keep. Here's the trap. Every time you increase your expenses, you're lowering your freedom. Think about it like this. Your expenses are like a subscription fee for your current life. If you spend $4,000 a month, you need to keep earning $4,000 just to stay afloat. If you increase it to $5,000, you've raised the price of your life forever. Most people keep upgrading faster than they can save, so when they finally want to slow down, travel, start a business, or retire early, they can't because their lifestyle costs too much to maintain. They've trapped themselves in what's called the income trap, high earnings but zero flexibility. Ironically, the people with the simplest lifestyles, those who don't upgrade every time they get a raise, often end up wealthier in the long run, because every raise they get widens the gap between what they earn and what they spend, and that gap is where wealth lives. Let's look at two friends, Sarah and Maya. Both start at $50,000 a year. After a few years, both are making $80,000. Sarah increases her lifestyle with every raise, new car, downtown apartment, premium everything. She saves maybe $100 a month. Maya, meanwhile, keeps her lifestyle mostly the same. She increases her spending slightly, but not much. The rest, she invests. After 5 years, Maya's investments are growing fast. Her money is literally making money. Sarah, on the other hand, still feels broke. Same income, completely different results. The difference isn't what they earned, it's how they behaved when they earned more. When we earn more, our brain tells us a story. I deserve this. Deserve mentality feels rational. You worked hard, you achieved more, so you should reward yourself. The problem is that your brain gets used to rewards as quickly as your spending does. Every time you tie spending to self-worth, you reinforce the belief that money's purpose is to validate you. And that makes saving or investing feel like depriving yourself instead of empowering yourself. That's why so many people find it easier to spend their raise than to save it. They're not making financial decisions, they're soothing emotional ones. So, how do you escape the lifestyle inflation trap? It's not about living like a monk or denying yourself joy. It's about conscious upgrades. Here's a mindset shift. Whenever your income increases, think of your raise as having two parts, the fun raise and the freedom raise. You take a small piece of that raise to improve your lifestyle, guilt-free. That's your fun raise. You take the rest and build wealth with it, investing in your future self. That's your freedom raise. Over time, it's the freedom raise that changes your life, not the fun raise, because compounding, both in money and habits, is where true wealth comes from. 1. Lock in your previous lifestyle. When your income goes up, don't let your expenses rise automatically. Wait 6 months before upgrading anything. That gap becomes instant savings power. 2. Automate your investments. Before your brain even sees the extra money, redirect it into investments or savings accounts. If you never see it, you never feel deprived. 3. Celebrate upgrades, but choose them consciously. It's okay to splurge, but pick experiences that genuinely add happiness or value, not just status. When you decide to spend, do it mindfully, not automatically. The truth is, financial freedom isn't about how big your paycheck gets, it's about how small your needs stay. Every dollar you don't spend isn't just saved, it buys you time. Time to say no to things you don't like, time to rest, to travel, to start something of your own. Lifestyle inflation steals that time from you, quietly, one upgrade at a time. So next time your paycheck grows, pause before you celebrate with a purchase. Ask yourself, do I want to look richer or become freer? Because wealth isn't built from what you earn, it's built from what you keep. Your raise doesn't have to make you poorer. It can be the turning point where your money stops controlling your lifestyle and starts creating your freedom. Remember, lifestyle inflation is automatic, but wealth building is a choice. Choose freedom, choose intention, And the next time your paycheck grows, let your future self celebrate, not just your present one.